So welcome everybody to this proactive strategies for mental well-being for your teams or indeed for yourself. My name's Sunny Turner from Serious Laughter. I'm the head of the Serious Wellbeing team. We have 5 wonderful experts here alongside myself. I'm going to share some real nuggets with you today. If you're watching this on replay, you're very welcome to pause at any time. So yeah, let's have a little kickstart of if anybody wants to put in the chat of who they are, where they're from in the country, and I'm just going to share a little bit about myself, my journey, and how I can help you. So first of all, I'm based in Manchester in the UK, and I've been delivering laughter sessions, officially known as laughter yoga, to organisations, to the NHS, school staff, school pupils, and also for mental health charities. I run a corporate social responsibility, so we make social impact so that we can offer free or subsidised sessions to those who can't afford any help. And I'm very thrilled to have said that I have delivered laughter and made a difference to over 13,000 people in the past 10 years when I came into laughter yoga through my own mental health struggles. So I've recently found out about from the Happiness Index, the UK Happiness Wellbeing report. It's officially called the UK Workplace Happiness Report, and they've shared that it's a startling figure of 22% said they are likely to leave organisations in the next 12 months, and that compares with about 8.5% of peer organisations in Germany and the US. So it's a real significant problem for organisations and the NHS, of course, in the UK. And I'm here to help people connect positively, to make them feel wanted in their organisation, and to create positive connection even when they don't feel happy. So we literally make a little magic trick inside the body, because the body doesn't know the difference between simulating laughter and genuine laughter. It's very, very handy. So we also release a lot of stress through laughter. And generally through the wellbeing analysis that I've been doing for the past 3 years, we found out that it's between 30 and 60% of stress is released, which means that people can function better. And they have a little bit of a brain break when we laugh. We can't think about anything, our worries and etc. when we're laughing, and they sleep better at night. It all makes for a really good working day and a positive workplace culture, and that's what the Serious Wellbeing team is all about. So I'm going to show you a really easy laughter exercise that you can do on your own, with a colleague, with friends, family, whoever, and this works every time. So if you want to join with me now, it's very, very easy, but it will connect you, because I'm going to show you a little tip of if you're with somebody, not just on your own. So we have 2 empty glasses, but we're going to throw in our favourite fruit, our favourite colourful fruit. And then we're going to pour in some water, a special laughter water, and we're going to shake it from shoulder to shoulder with ho sounds and drink it with a laugh. So it goes like this, if you just watch me, and then we'll try it together. Yay, 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 ho, 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 and then we drink it with a laugh. Let's try it together now. Yay, 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 ho, 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 and drink it with a laugh. And with those ho sounds and ha sounds and he sounds, just words, we simulate laughter to stimulate genuine laughter. We only have to do this for 15-20 minutes, and we get lots of mind and body benefits. There's over 300, 500 even studies about laughter and laughter yoga making a positive mental health positive significant difference. And so to get connection, we're also going to do this. Yay, 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 ho, 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 ho. I'm going to say cheers to the camera. You know where the camera is. It's right there in front of you. So we're going to go cheers and then drink. All right. So let's try that. Yay, 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 ho, 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 ho. And now the magic starts. Yeah, cheers. Now imagine doing that in real life, because in person you get the really special connection with people. We can also laugh online. It's not a problem. It's very good for skeptics to laugh online, those are nervous, or just who want to watch. Because, you know, there was a scientific study in Hungary in 2022 that said that those who even watch or listen to laughter and laughter yoga still get positive benefits. They still feel their mood boost and they still release stress. So the main thing is to laugh with ho, heart and he sounds, or indeed make a laughter smoothie, a milkshake, whatever you want to call it, cocktail, whatever you want to call it. Do the laughter, because if you do this every day, you will get the most benefits. So yeah, I hope this helps you, and I hope this makes you feel a little bit brighter at the start of this. I'm going to do another laughter exercise at the end of this session. If you're interested to learn all the different, we have lots of different sessions that we run. It's not just team building, it's deep relaxation and burnout and playful sessions. Please zap the QR code with your phone now, and or do a screenshot, whatever you wish, and then you can have a look at all the sessions on that QR code. There's also links on the website, Serious Laughter website. So yeah, we're going to go to the next person now, which is, I'm sure we've got it on the screen. It's Sam, who is talking about digital well-being. I've been following Sam for a long time. We've been connected for, gosh, probably 6 years now through networking. And she shares incredible insights into lowering your mobile phone use, making it work better for you with friction. So do you want to head over here, Sam, and I'll just spotlight you.
Fantastic. Hi, everyone. And thank you very much for the lovely intro, Sunny, and for the laughter. As always, it's always good to have a giggle to start off a webinar, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going to talk about digital well-being for my little slot today. And if any of you have not heard of digital well-being before, the one thing it is not is a rejection of the digital world, because obviously the digital world is incredible. We're using it right now to speak to you, wherever you are in the country, world, wherever you might be. And so it's definitely not a rejection of the digital world. It's not about flushing your phone down the toilet or stamping on it, although I'm pretty sure most of us have feelings now and again where actually we do want to fling it at a wall or get rid of it forever. What digital well-being is accepting we live in a digital world and making sure it doesn't negatively impact our well-being. Because the reality is, excessive digital use, or even not excessive, just digital use, can negatively impact sleep, which you're going to be hearing more from Jill about today. It can negatively impact our mental health. It can negatively impact our creativity. It can negatively impact our focus and attention as well, which is probably one of the big ones, actually. Our focus and attention has never been as bad as it is right now. And unfortunately, the digital world is having a huge, huge impact on that. And in fact, you know, the likes of TikTok is a negative form of brain training. Scrolling through short form videos is essentially training our brains to only be able to pay attention for a very, very short period of time. And this has a huge impact. All of these have a huge impact on our well-being. But it doesn't just impact our well-being, it also impacts productivity and performance in the workplace as well. Because if people aren't being able to focus as much, if people have lower mood, if people aren't sleeping well, of course, that's not only going to have a knock-on effect on well-being, but also on productivity and performance. So I deliver sessions in organizations on improving digital well-being through managing smartphone use, but also digital well-being in the workplace as well. If any of you work in corporate workplaces, you will probably be interrupted permanently by email notifications or Teams chats. And I look at in our sessions, we look at things like that as well as the digital distraction, digital presenteeism, logging in out of hours, logging in when on holiday, email management, and everything like that. I've also got a membership called the Unplugged Club, which you can see a QR code for here. The Unplugged Club is a very simple membership where each week you're given an action to help improve your digital well-being. And it's only £2 a month or 20 quid for the year. So I've left that QR code there. But what I want to leave you with today is some actions that you can take to improve your digital well-being, because we do all need to think about our current digital well-being and how we can actually make steps to improve it, not just for our well-being, but the other reason is to gain back time. Now, if we did a hands up, I don't think we even need to, but if we did a hands up, I would be asking you, can you put your hands up if feel like you've got loads of time to do everything you want? And I can guarantee there will be no hands up. It's the one thing we're always all saying, I wish I had more time. I haven't got enough time. The reality is that in the UK, the average smartphone user is spending 4.5 hours a day on their phone, which, yeah, you can imagine through the day, picking it up now and again, you can soon amass 4.5 hours. But when we think about that more logically, that's actually over 3 months a year, including time to sleep, that we are spending on our phones. We're essentially spending a quarter of our lives looking at our phones, which is quite scary, isn't it? So if we released more time, we would actually have time to do the things we don't say we have time to do. It's one thing I always say when people say I haven't got time, say take a look at your screen time and then tell me you have no time. So I'm going to give you 3 quick tips today to help you improve your digital well-being. The first tip is a really easy one we can all do. It doesn't take any willpower. It's a simple action, and that is to turn off your notifications. Preferably as many of them as possible, but obviously there may be some that you do need to keep on. That's absolutely fine. But what happens is we download an app on our phone. It's asking us things like allow location, allow this. And one of those things we allow is notifications. And with each app we allow notifications, that's more and more interruption in our day. And it's giving the power to our phones. It's giving our phones the power to say, pick me up, rather than us having the decision of when we are ready to pick up our phone. And that works for your desktop too. If you're being pinged by emails or Teams chats, you are being interrupted all the time, which has a seriously negative impact on your performance and productivity as well. So that's my top tip, first of all, is just to simply switch off as many notifications as you can. And in fact, it's been shown to lower the amount of times you pick up your phone by 1/3. So it can have a really big impact. The second thing I am going to suggest today is that you stop your phone being mobile. This is one of the big issues with our phones, is they go everywhere with us. So I want you to imagine your phone is no longer mobile and it actually has somewhere to live in the house, somewhere that you can put your phone and it stays there. So you're not walking around the house with it. It's not something that follows you around. And that can make a big difference. If it's not always next to you, then you're less likely to pick it up, quite simply. It's a bit like if we have a bowl of chocolate, mini eggs or something on our desk, we're going to keep eating them because they're right next to us as we're working. And the same's going to happen with our phone. I can't be bothered doing that bit of work. Oh, what shall I do to procrastinate? Oh, look, there's my shiny phone ready for me to go scrolling on. And then my third tip, and this is probably one of my most favourite tips, and it was actually the tip that went out today to Unplugged Club members, which I know a few of you are, so you'll have had this tip already, is to write a joy list. And a joy list is everything you would love to do in your life if you had the time, or maybe things you already do but you want to do more of, or you're maybe even happy with the amount you do. Write them all down, and then the next time you go to pick up your phone, have a look at that joy list and think, instead of scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, how about I do something that I know is going to bring joy to my life? So I definitely recommend you do at least one of those 3 actions. And that's exactly what the Unplugged Club is all about as well. It's simple actions that you can take that I deliver to your inbox every single week that you can take that week to help improve your digital well-being. The idea being just those small little gains will gradually over time mean you have a really positive digital well-being, and it will lessen all the negative impacts that the digital world can have on us. So thank you very much. I hope that was useful. And now I'm going to move into a nice little segue because I did mention this topic already, but Jill is going to expand on it far more. And that is something we probably all do need more of, which is sleep. Over to you, Jill.
Oh, thank you very much, Sam. And you're so right. I think us two go nicely one after the other. And that's why we've got our screens that are pretty similar, because we actually do segue together beautifully. Because as Sam was saying, if people put their phone away, they're less likely to look at it. And that is also really, really important for your sleep. If we keep looking at our phones when we are trying to sleep or when we wake up in the middle of the night, we are automatically switching on a front part of our brain that loves doing maths, because when we look at our phone, we automatically do a math sum whereby we take away how long we've been awake and until the morning, and we work out how long it is till we need to get up, or we work out how long we've been asleep. And that math sum switches on this front part of the brain, which is supposed to be off when we're asleep. So Sam's great tip there about moving your phone away does apply also to when you're asleep. But I'm also here to talk about other things to do with well-being, since it's World Wellbeing Week. And our well-being is made up of both physical and emotional well-being. Quite often when people talk about well-being, they might just think of one or the other, but sleep sits with both of those, because when we go to sleep, we both recover physically and emotionally. I don't know if any of you, I don't know if you want to put it in the chat or put your hand up to say if you actually track your sleep at night. Some people that track their sleep at night get super obsessed with, am I getting enough deep sleep? And my biggest tip for today is to not look at that. Your apps aren't able to give you that information. And actually trying to get more deep sleep doesn't necessarily mean it's helping your well-being at all, because deep sleep is only half the story. That deep sleep is when we get physical recovery. And what you perhaps also don't know is that we sleep in 90-minute blocks. So over a night, if somebody's a sleeper for 8 hours, they'll get 4 or 5 hour blocks. It's around 90 minutes. Everybody's is slightly different by about 10 minutes. You know, it's an average 90 minutes. But every 90 minutes, we do something slightly different. And in the first 90 minutes, we do lots of deep sleep when our bodies physically recover. It's sort of made up of probably 80% is deep sleep. So our bodies are rejuvenating, our muscles are regenerating, our hormones and neurotransmitters are rebalancing, all those wonderful things for our body. And then at the end of that 90 minutes, we do a tiny little, what we call REM sleep, or rapid eye movement. And that's when we dream. That's when we work through things emotionally, when we rebalance psychologically for the next day. But it's only tiny. And then the next 90 minutes, we do slightly less physical recovery, deep sleep, and we do slightly more REM sleep, emotional recovery. And then in the third, fourth, and fifth sleep, we do less and less physical recovery and more emotional recovery. So if you're a person that ends up on your phone till late at night, or you're busy doing other things and you decide, I'll sleep later, I really need to get on with these tasks of the day, then you might actually be nicking from your emotional recovery for the next day. And you think, oh, well, I can survive without that. But actually, if you realize that your performance as well as your relationships are really affected when you haven't had that opportunity to emotionally think through things in your dream sleep, and then it's harder. But actually, when we do more dream sleep, we actually become more creative. To imagine what life will be like if you could think of solutions that you wouldn't have done before. When you can do as Mick Jagger did and thought of some of his lyrics for his songs that he wouldn't have done before. He wrote them down after a dream. It is an incredible gift that we've all been given in life. But if we get super obsessed with just trying to get deep sleep and working out how we can get more deep sleep, we will forget about that emotional recovery that comes with REM dream sleep, that's really important for us as well. And therefore, it's important that we get a good amount of our sleep. So there is also this obsession in social media and generally in life, actually, that we should all get 8 hours of sleep. And that's not true. We all have a different amount. It could be as short as 6 or as much as 9 for an adult. For a child, it's more. And for anybody over the age of 65, it's less. And working out what your number is probably the most important thing to do, so that you can ensure that you get emotional recovery and well-being, as well as physical well-being. And if you know your number and you can protect that time for sleep, then that's wonderful. I don't want you to protect it like so harshly that it becomes really rigid. There is some flexibility in that, and therefore it's useful if you can just notice when you're awake, whether you're feeling tired, whether you're feeling sluggish emotionally as well as physically, and then work out what your number is for you, and then try and start the day at the same time, because that's when our body clock starts. That's when our sleep processes actually begin. So hopefully that piece of advice is really useful and can be helpful for this week during World Wellbeing Week and going forward in the rest of your month, year ahead. And that's me finished. But if you want to look at my QR code and snapshot it or take a photo, my details are also in the chat if it's easier to get them from there. And my company is called Sleep Better Doctor. And I'm now going to pass you over to Beth, who works with people to improve their resilience, improve that bounce back. But I love the phrase that Beth also uses about bounce forward. So here you go, Beth. I'll pass over to you.
You're still muted, Beth.
Maybe I was asleep there, and I will. Okay, can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, great. So thank you all so much for coming along. I'm Beth from Moving Forward, and thank you for that lovely intro, Jill. So I'm going to talk today about how your self-talk can affect your corporate performance. And I'd like to start by asking you to tune in to that meeting that's going on in your space right now. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it? It's completely in secret. It's the constant, rapid running commentary inside your own head. Are you aware of it now? And just as Jill was saying about dreams, sometimes what's going on inside our own head can be like a meeting, but also it can be like a soap opera or even a nightmare, and it definitely affects our performance. As corporate professionals, we're highly trained to monitor our external language. We double check our emails, we polish our boardroom presentations, and we carefully watch our tone during important meetings. But research shows that we're very blind to the impact that our internal dialogue has, and the stuff we use to say about ourselves every single day. So I wonder what your internal dialogue is like. Is it a silent criticism like, oh God, I can't believe I screwed that up again? Or is it something like, oh, I'm going to have to pull an all-nighter here because otherwise everyone's going to know that I just cannot cope in this role? This kind of language in your head is actively shaping your corporate capability, because your self-talk is either a high strategic tool or the single greatest strain on your professional performance. So many people treat that harsh inner critic as just like a personality quirk, but actually the neuroscience tells a very different story. When we engage in negative self-talk, we're not just hurting our own feelings, we're actively hijacking our brain's processing power. So we know from studies at MIT and global research looking at the default mode network, that's kind of the network your brain is based on, how it works, that when we start to have negative internal thoughts, our body responds to that. And the first thing it does is it cuts off the blood supply to our cerebral cortex, the thinking part. And all the blood goes to the amygdala for a fight or flight response. So you might be in real time trying to come up with a solution for a difficult problem, but the solution finding part of the brain is not actually online because everything's gone to the amygdala. So it makes you less able to think of a solution and more likely to miss opportunities and make mistakes. Now, this internal drain quickly translates into corporate metrics. According to CIPD, workplace stress and professional burnout are reaching critical levels and definitely relate to dips in organizational performance. And confidence at work is kind of seen as a fixed thing, like I'm a confident person. But in reality, how confident you feel in your role is a fluctuating thing, depending on the workplace feedback you're getting and what you then say to yourself in your own head about it. So heads up, if your internal playbook relies on grinding, perfectionism, and relentless self-policing to hit your targets, you're basically fast tracking yourself to burnout. You might be already there, in fact. Like if you are starting to see workplace stress, like everyday stuff, like crappy emails or delayed project milestones, if you're seeing that not as an occupational hazard, but as an intense personal threat, well, that can shift you from a state of strategic clarity to a state of survival brain fog. And that leads to defensive decision making and fragmented attention. So how do we fix this? Well, fortunately, there's loads you can do to improve your self-talk. And one thing that you can do straight away is based on a fascinating piece of research on linguistics that was published recently by Harvard Business Review. So they discovered a remarkably simple shift in the pronouns that we use in our self-talk can radically alter our performance under pressure. So research found that when preparing for a high-stress task, individuals who used first-person pronouns, saying stuff to themselves like, "Oh God, how am I going to pull this off? I'm so stressed," they experienced high emotional reactivity and poor performance. However, participants who made the simple switch to using second-person or third-person pronouns, or even use their own names, so saying something like, "Why is Beth feeling under pressure right now?" Or, "She's facing a pretty tight deadline here." These people showed measurably lower emotional reactivity. So simply by swapping I for your own name or you can create what behavioral scientists call a psychological distance within a fraction of a second. And they've even picked this up on fMRI scans of the brain. It showed decreased activity in the brain regions linked to rumination by just doing this quick step. So you're effectively stepping out of the emotional storm and becoming your own objective executive coach, which rather puts me out of work. But your internal voice is the oldest and most powerful cognitive tool you possess. And as you go back to your desk today, challenge those unexamined narratives running in your own head. When friction happens, and it definitely will, just take a breath and change what you're saying to yourself inside. Move away from the exhausting first-person self-criticism and move into a structured, objective dialogue instead. Because you just can't operate at peak performance when your internal playbook is constantly fighting your natural processing style. So how about you stop treating yourself like a broken project that constantly needs to be policed and start treating yourself like your own most trusted high-performance partner, which is basically what I'm all about as an executive coach, how to be on your own team so you can enjoy success with less stress. And if you like more ways to improve your self-talk and to genuinely be more on your own team, then just click the little QR code on my slide for a free online Stop the Self-Sabotage course. Thanks very much. And next, we have the amazing Jazz, who is all about the very fuel you need to even show up in your business. So over to you, Jazz.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Beth. It was fascinating learning about all the things that you've shared there, and I can definitely relate to a lot of that. Yeah, so welcome everybody here today, and it's amazing that it's World Wellbeing Week, and there are so many different elements of wellbeing, as we know, and that's part of why we sort of form this team as well, because you know, lifestyle habits, and I mean I've called myself, my business is all about nutrition and lifestyle, and it's really important that we don't look at things in isolation, because nutrition, you could be doing your nutrition really well, but if your lifestyle's out of kilter, then that's going to upset that balance, and vice versa. So it's really important that we do look after ourselves, body, mind, spirit, soul, and it's a holistic approach to well-being. And thanks to Sunny, who's already whetted our appetites a little bit with mentioning things like water and, you know, shaking things up, making smoothies, getting our taste buds going over lunch as well. You know, I'm very passionate about healthcare, and obviously I've come from a pharmacist background. I used to work in hospital pharmacy, turned nutritionist, wanting to help people to get to the root causes of their health concerns, and helping people more holistically. Today, you know, we're going to be talking about some ways we can sort of concentrate on fueling ourselves, not just filling ourselves up, because there's a difference, and we want to fuel ourselves. We want to fuel from the inside out and give our bodies everything that it needs to nourish itself and function and be firing on all cylinders, really. That's what our aim is. And I just wanted to start with a quick question today. So hands up if you've ever experienced like a mid-morning crash or a 3 p.m. slump, or you find yourself, navigating towards the biscuits and things and the coffee in the tea room, because we used to have quite a lot even though we were in a hospital pharmacy. So I'll put my hand up at times when you're sort of running between wards. I was like, oh, I need something just to keep me going. But energy dips that we have is more than just being busy or even lack of sleep as well, even though that plays a part into it. And it's more than just lack of willpower and just feeling like, what's wrong with me? I'm just tired. And I speak to quite a lot of people, who say it's like a crushing tiredness sometimes for some people at the end of the day. They've just sort of been on this roller coaster of energy highs and energy dips. And as I was saying before, it's all about really fueling our bodies. And today I'm going to talk about, there's so many things I could talk about actually with nutrition. It's so many aspects of energy and fueling. But the 3 simple habits I want to talk about today, and it may be things that you've already heard about before, but just want to really reiterate that small changes in our diet and lifestyle can have massive impacts. And I see that with my clients all the time. Just making little small tweaks can really quite quickly, actually, you see benefits in your health and well-being. So the first one is hydration. If we're not well hydrated, we do feel quite foggy. We're sort of got lack of concentration. It can make us feel, we just feel like we just need a nap sometimes. You just feel just out of sorts and not in ourselves. And the first time, the time of day that you really start getting into that habit is, when you get out of bed, even before you brush your teeth, maybe just have a glass of water just ready, even covered up, or even a bottle, and just get into the habit of when you get up, just have a drink of water. It's a great way because your body's been detoxing overnight. And what we want to do is to be flushing out some of those toxins and just awakening the body, slowly awakening the bowels and the digestive system, just getting us ready for the day. And just sort of, because obviously in the heat as well, we're losing a lot of our electrolytes and loads of other things and sweating things out as well overnight. And if there's anybody who's on the similar journey as myself with perimenopause and menopause, that takes it to another level of sweatiness. So we're losing quite a lot of hydration. The other thing I want to say is also to sip throughout the day. Some people sometimes get into a bit of a habit of drinking large amounts with their meals because they've been so busy. They're like, oh, I forgot to drink. But then when I'm having my lunch, I'll just gulp a load of stuff down. But that can then sort of make it puts a bit of pressure on the stomach because it's churning. It's a bit like overloading a washing machine with loads of stuff all at the same time and diluting those digestive enzymes. So what we want to be doing is hydrating throughout the day because our cells need constant hydration. So sipping throughout the day. And I've got my little trusted beautiful little bottle. You can get a nice colourful one to keep you bright and smiley all the day. The other thing is just remember the sparkling water counts as well. If you don't like the taste of plain water, you can always add a bit of like fresh lemon or lime to the sparkling water and have like a bit more refreshing drink. And the other thing I just want to say as well, obviously going for snacks and things. So before you do feel like you think, oh, maybe I'm hungry or I need something to eat, actually our brain sometimes, especially when we're busy, we sometimes can't tell the difference between thirst and hunger. So before you do grab a snack, drink a glass of water and just see how you feel over the next sort of 15 to 20 minutes. A lot of the time that hunger sort of goes away, and sometimes it can be sort of boredom as well, but just try and drink first and then see how you feel. And if you're really hungry, then to go for a healthy snack. And remember, hydrating foods also count, and herbal teas, so things like cucumbers, melons, things like that count. The second one I was going to mention is prioritizing protein. And this isn't just for gym goers or people who want to build a load of muscle. We need protein for loads of different things. And that's things like neurotransmitters and hormones. And also our immune system, our enzymes are made of proteins as well. So we need to make sure that we are fueling ourselves well with protein. The Western diet is very heavily sugar and carbohydrate based. When you think about cereals, toast, orange juice on top of that is more sugar. And actually what we need to be doing is put a good foundation in our breakfast at the start of the day. So adding some protein, so things like eggs, Greek yogurt, even rashers, turkey rashers or something like that. So prioritizing breakfast and getting your and actually at every meal you want to be getting some sort of form of protein, and it helps to keep you more fuller for longer. Helps stop that blood sugar roller coaster that we sometimes get on, which causes those energy dips and crashes. So that's what I would sort of recommend. And then the third habit and tip I want to give you is it's not just about what we eat, it's about how we eat it. So we want to make sure we're getting the best out of the food that we are eating. And this is something that's very overlooked. And it's not just about what's on the plate. We want to make sure that we're chewing our food well, we're eating in a rested state. And obviously, especially at lunchtime, we kind of had a busy morning, and sometimes we're in a stress state. And now that's not the best time for our digestion to be optimal. So we want to make sure that maybe you're just taking a little bit of time out, breathing space before you start to eat, and make sure you are chewing your food preferably away from your desk and not be distracted, going back to the digital thing, no sort of gadgets and things, just taking a bit of time out to eat. And sometimes if we eat in a rush state, we become a bit more sluggish and the brain doesn't always register that you've eaten. So then you're more likely to go and snack as well and feel sleepy in the afternoon. A couple of bonus tips. Deep breathing for a minute before you start eating, just to taking that, even if it's just when you go to the loo, before you start your lunch, just take a little moment just to breathe and just say, I'm going to be eating now, so I'm going to get my brain into gear. And then after your lunch, if you can get a 10 or 15-minute walk, that helps to help with digestion and the blood sugar balance as well. So I've put these tips in the QR code here. So if you wanted to get those in the for future reference, you can do that. And I'm just going to now hand over to the lovely Julie Silvers, who is an expert on stress management, and she will give you some practical tools to interrupt the stress cycle before it takes hold. And that's really important for feeling calmer and energized. Over to you, Julie.
Thank you so much, Jazz, and thank you for everybody for your fabulous tips on how to reduce stress and be healthier. I just want to ask you now is notice how you're feeling on stress level wise. Do you feel quite stressed, or do you feel quite calm? Just notice now, because I'm just going to do some few interactive exercises with you. And I just want to notice if you feel any different afterwards. So the first one, it's all about, my whole session is about kind of acknowledging. I used to think, I don't know how you feel, but I used to think that if I wasn't feeling kind of uplifted and happy, there was something wrong. I had to change it. And I don't know if you know the quote, what you resist persists, and what you ignore gets stronger. So things just come up. And I believe that we're on this earth, we're here to experience all emotions. So, I know the laughter is great. And what that does, it brings everything up. The laughter, it just helps to acknowledge, other emotions and dissipate them, because you are feeling them. So I always say the quote, feel it to heal it. Now I'm just going to ask you to choose one finger. This is called Jin Shin Jitsu, finger holes. So if you kind of hold your thumb first, and then your first finger, your middle finger, your ring finger, and your little finger. Just want you to go through them and notice, oh, that feels better than others. You know what? They all might feel good, and that's great. So I'm going to explain which each finger, the emotion it relates to, and also the organs of the body. And you're actually doing some healing for your emotions and your body. So,
Can't hear you, Sunny.
Sunny, you're muted, sorry.
Just going to say, we'll laugh for a technical problem.
I think that dropped off.
I think she might have dropped off. That's okay. In the meantime, until she reappears, can somebody let her in as well, please? I'm going to do what I would do at the end, which is know that we can work our brain really effectively by creating bilateral stimulation. And not many people know that if we are stressed, we cannot do the bilateral stimulation. Here she comes again. You can wait. Oh, she's got. Is she here? Yes. We shall catch up in a few minutes. Okay.
My goodness, I apologise for that. Someone tried to call me and I'm on the phone. So back to the finger holes. So it gave you time then to notice which finger or thumb felt better. And I'm going to go through them. So your thumb is all to do with worry. That's the emotion. And the organs are your stomach and your spleen. So it will help to heal stomach and spleen and acknowledge all about worry. A lot of babies suck the thumb, so that's probably why. It helps soothe them. If it's the first finger, that is to do with the emotion. It's fear. So if you feel fear, it's a great finger to hold, and that is the kidney and the bladder organs. The middle finger, you won't be surprised to learn if someone puts the middle finger up, they are feeling angry. So that is the liver and the gallbladder. So it can help again those organs. The ring finger, that is to do with sadness. The emotion is sadness, and the organs of the body are the lungs and large intestine. And your little finger is to do with, that's the heart and small intestine. And that is to do with kind of overgiving, not feeling good enough, maybe low self-esteem, and you just want to keep giving. I think a lot of people can probably relate to that, but it's just that giving. So that's the little finger. And what you can do is you can sit on all your fingers and you can be working on them all at the same time. So it's just a great thing to do, and you can do it on somebody else or just do it on yourself. And, if you can't sleep and, you're feeling any of these emotions, just hold that finger or the thumb. So that's something you can take away. And the right and the left fingers, all the same. It doesn't matter which hand you choose, whichever feels more comfortable. So the other thing is when animals are stressed, I don't know if you notice what they do. Now, they can get very stressed about something, and all of a sudden if you want to practice this with me, they shake the body. They just shake the body. You might have seen this before. A qigong move as well is about shaking. You can just shake your body. You might not want to do this in the office or, out and about in the shops. It might be a bit embarrassing, but, you might want to say, get up in the morning and just move your body before bed, but in between anything that you've got stressed about, just shake off your body. And it's surprising how you can just instantly release kind of some stress like the animals do. And the last thing I'm going to share with you is just kind of a gentle breath. I know Joss mentioned taking a breath before food, which I definitely encourage, but also to notice any areas of tension in your body, any stress anywhere you've been kind of, just holding on, trying to ignore, because, the more you ignore something, it's like a child or an animal, it will just get louder and louder and want to be seen. So if you want to join me, and if you want to close your eyes, I could take you, you could just have literally a minute or so in your favourite holiday destination, because they say, your your subconscious mind doesn't know whether something is imagined or real. So if you feel like comfortable closing your eyes and taking yourself to somewhere relaxing, notice any tension areas in your body. Just working from your head down to your feet. When you take a breath, just breathe in through your nose, and you're breathing into your whole face and head area. And as you breathe out very slowly and gently through your nose, as if you're holding a baby or a pet that you don't want to wake up that's asleep. Just very gentle, breathing out. And then when you feel ready, just bring yourself back into the room you're in. No, that was only for literally 1 minute. And you can take yourself there anytime. And now I just want to ask you how you're feeling now. Are you feeling calmer, less stressed than you were? And if you can take one thing from each of us and continue that, then, you know, I'm sure that will benefit you. And please let us know how you get on. And if you want to sign up to any newsletters that I send out or read any blogs, I've put my website, which is juliesilver.co.uk. You can search Julie Silver, but you might find there's a musician and a doctor, and there was a porn star. I don't know if she's still about, but yeah, that's not me. So anyway, thank you so much for attending, and thank you to everybody in the group, and wishing you well on your journey to better health.
That was really funny, that little ending. There's always a little bit of humour comes into our sessions, because this is who we are. We're like heart-centred, but with a very serious message. And I think that's the wonderful thing about our team is we are just heart-centred. We care about you. So I was saying before about bilateral stimulation of the brain, and it's kind of a weird and wonderful thing, but what you should know is that we create new neural pathways by our laughter exercises, all accessible, always can do them seated or standing, and so I want to share it with you to see. You probably can do it now, but you might not have done it at the start, because if you were stressed, it's less likely that you could do a brain laughter exercise. So let's try this one. We're going to have one finger up and one finger across, and then we're going to just wiggle that finger upwards and point that to a 2 across. It's a bit like a crossword thing here, and then the 1 across becomes a 2 up. And we're going to swap again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. We swap again across and upwards, and then we'll high five and have a little smile. Okay, so see if you can do this a little bit quicker, all right? And if you want to do some ha-ha-has, feel free. I will. It might help. 1. Okay, let's go 2. Let's swap to 3. Swap to 4. Swap to 5. Let us know how you got on in the chat. Keep on doing that, and you get quicker, and your brain creates that new neural pathway. There's lots of different brain laughter exercises that you can do, and I put them on my YouTube channel, which is just Serious Laughter. So of course we have a wonderful opportunity for you to have a bargain. We'll all love a bargain, and this today is for 3 sessions. It's like a pick and mix, and we do have a full day. We can offer a full day, which is so magical. But if you just wanted to experience 3 professionals in our wellbeing team, then we're offering a special deal. So it's £599, and it is usually £900. So it's a huge discount, because we care and we want to make a difference to you. And it's going to be to the first 3 organisations who book. So it's all the 3s. we need you to confirm by the 3rd of July to receive this offer. So literally it's £200 per session, and that's up to an hour worth of complete golden gems and golden nuggets from our organisation. So we have team building, we have stress management, sleep better, nutrition, resilience, and digital well-being. Loads of different holistic therapies that work effectively, that create lots of benefits to your organisation. If you want to zap the QR code just there, and then you can see that. Can everybody see that okay? Can you see that screen? Okay, great. And that takes you to our wellbeing services pack, our inquiry form, etc. And you can have a little browse of that, have a little notice what benefits you will get. A sense of belonging is guaranteed with every session. We can deliver online and face-to-face in Manchester in the UK. And if it's online, it can be global. So if you've got a global organisation, bingo. It's an absolute bargain, as you can tell. But what we love about the Serious Wellbeing team is that you don't have to shop around. It saves you an immense amount of time and admin and research, because you know that you've got vetted professionals, wellbeing experts who care, who will make a significant difference. We all come with testimonials, and we can tell you all the organisations that I've worked with. I've worked with AstraZeneca, Selfridges, the NHS, Lloyds Bank, so many organisations who care about their employees, and I'm sure you care too. But if you want something completely different that will be so effective and you can take away some resources, then please do get in touch. You can get in touch with me at happy@seriouslaughter.co.uk, and I can forward on to everybody. If you haven't received all these QR codes, I will send you an email after this with all the little links for those so you can see them. So yeah, our team will now put in our actual website into just our websites onto here, so that you can quickly and easily save this chat. And I think that's probably an effective way of doing things. So yeah, I'm just going to stop my share. Wonderful, so you can see me. So yeah, if you want to get in touch, feel free. If it resonates, if you just want to say, hi, this has been an amazing webinar and I've learned something from it, then please do get in touch as well. And thank you for your time. I know it's as precious, time is precious. You can save time by doing those tips from Sam, the digital wellbeing. Put your phone in a place that becomes home. Yeah. Turn off those notifications. I know I turn some on, and that's my reminder to turn some off. All these kind of gems of, you know, rehydrating and taking time for yourself and not criticizing yourself and sleeping well. They're absolute golden nuggets, and I hope you've agreed. If you've got any questions, we can pop them in the chat, we can email them to you, the answers to you, with pleasure. So if you have any questions, just let us know. And I'm loving the, thank you for so much for coming, and I'm loving the interaction that we've received throughout this webinar. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Keep laughing, it's good for you. Keep sleeping, keep hydrating, and look after your phone use. Let's wave goodbye and laugh. Thank you. Wishing you a great day.